Is this snow or sand? We are at White Sands National Monument, which is unit number 4 on our quest to visit all national park units. White Sands is the largest gypsum field in the world, so let's go and check it out.
We started our national park journey with Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. Then we dipped into Texas to visit Guadalupe Mountains and Camisal National Memorial in El Paso. In this episode, we're heading north, back into New Mexico. We spent some time at a great BLM boondocking spot at Sierra Vista Trail BLM land near Las Cruces. And after that, we headed to White Sands National Monument. On our first day there, we thought we would bring in the trailer and have a picnic. Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thank you.
That's wonderful, thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay.
White Sands has possibly the most beautiful picnic area we've ever seen. The picnic shelters were created by architect Lyle Bennett in the style of Frank Lloyd Wright. So we used the opportunity of having our home with us to cook lunch in the RV and eat it at the picnic tables. The picnic areas are very large, so almost any size RV can probably fit in there. There's no RV camping inside White Sands, so we boondocked at Holloman Lake just a few miles down the road. It is right next to Holloman Air Force Base, but it is completely open to the public. When we were there over Thanksgiving, it was very quiet, but we have heard from others that it can get loud with various aircraft flying over. The second day of visiting White Sands, we spent hiking, sledding, and attended a ranger-guided walk at sunset.
It is nice and cool at 60 degrees. The first hike of the day is the Alkali Flat Trail. It is a 5-mile loop over the sand dunes. Let's go!
The Alkali Flat Trail heads all the way through the dunes, so it can be quite hard to follow. But all you gotta do is follow these signs. Keep an eye on the black diamond, keep following, and you'll find your way.
The trail is called Alkali Flat Trail, but it's anything but flat. You need to keep going up and down the sand dunes.
Covering 275 square miles, White Sands is the largest gypsum dune field in the world. However, it's also actually quite young. Although the gypsum here was formed nearly 250 million years ago, when snow melt from the surrounding mountains that you can see behind me washed down into the basin here, the lowest point in the area, the dunes themselves only formed 5,000 to 7,000 years ago. At this time, it was a much drier and much windier climate than it had been previously, and the sea dried up, leaving the gypsum exposed, where it was crafted into these dunes by strong winds. The dunes are still forming and changing today. Each year the dunes could move up to 38 feet, so every time you come here the dunes will be a little bit different from last time. White Sands National Monument is the most visited National Park Service unit in all of New Mexico, and you can see why. This place is absolutely stunning. It's such a beautiful place here that it's estimated that 90% of every make and model of car manufactured in the US has been brought here to photograph it. So it should come as no surprise that we brought our very own outdoors RV trailer and our truck down here yesterday to take some photographs of it in this beautiful, beautiful area.
The sand in most sand dunes is made out of quartz crystals, but here in White Sands it's made of gypsum. Gypsum is the same material that is in your drywalls, and that is why these sands are so white.
The dune fields here at White Sands National Monument are not the only gypsum dune fields in the United States. There's also a gypsum dune field at Guadalupe Mountains National Park.
Alkali Flat hike is the longest hike in White Sands National Monument, so we started with that first. It took us 2.5 hours to do 5 miles, and it is not flat, it was 600 feet of elevation gain. The next hike we're doing today is the Backcountry Camping Trail. If you were to come and camp here, this is where you would go, but you're absolutely free to also just hike the trail. We just finished the Backcountry Trail. It was 1.7 miles and it took us 15 minutes to finish it.
At only 1 mile long, the Dune Life Nature Trail is a great little trail for kids especially. Your whole journey round is narrated by Katie the Kit Fox, who introduces you to all the different wildlife that's found in the dunes. I must admit, I've also been finding it quite fun as well, so would definitely recommend this if you've got kids. I think the sand dune here has moved. This sign's getting really tall.
This is the Interdune Boardwalk trail. It's quite short at 600 feet, but it is wheelchair accessible.
Not only is it allowed to sled on the dunes, it's encouraged.
Nice view up there.
If you have a snowboard you hate, then feel free to bring that. The sand will destroy it though, you've been warned.
It feels quite steep from here. Ah. That was fun. Your turn.
A much better option is to use a cheap plastic sled. Don't have one? Don't worry. You can buy them at the Visitor Centre gift shop. Predictably, they're very overpriced to buy, but you can sell them back to the store afterwards, albeit at a much lower price.
That's very good. Should we wax it for the next one?
Yep. In here.
Okay.
There's nothing stopping you from buying one somewhere else and bringing it along though, if you plan that far ahead. We donated ours to a family in need.
It's fast. Okay, what's your pose?
My pose.
Yeah. Superman?
There you go.
Very nice. We're getting further and further.
Yeah, you got some serious distance there.
But the wonderful thing about this place is there is always more than meets the eye. And that is what I'm hoping we'll discover on tonight's sunset stroll. The things that at first glance you don't necessarily see. Are you ready to come discover that with me? Okay, please follow me. This is sand, but it is not like the sand you're used to coming in contact to. This sand is rare. Very, very rare. Now, gypsum is not rare. Gypsum in sand form is. Selenite, or gypsum, is the second softest mineral in the world, and it is very easily eroded. You want to know what the secret of white sands is? It's as wet as an ocean here. You have all this water and it's not usable. You can't use it. It's so salty you can't use it. All the animals that live here in the dunes, they get all of their water from their food. There are times when something happens and it changes collectively all humans, but they do not happen often. It happened right here. It happened right here. If you were right here, you would have seen something you had never seen before and would never see again. Because in the northern sky, you would see a flash of light, brighter than multiple midday suns. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The testing of the first atomic bomb, 70 miles north of your location right now.
We're hiking to Lake Lucero.
On day 3, I did the Lake Lucero Ranger-led tour. We didn't plan in advance and could only get one ticket this once per month tour. It was $8 for a 3-hour tour. See our blog post about visiting White Sands linked in the description for more details about everything we did at White Sands National Monument.
So we're at the lake. What you're looking at here is the lowest point in the Tularosa Basin. Lake Lucero's elevation is 2,800 feet. That's why we get water out here, because all of the water just settles down here, whether it's above ground through the arroyo or below ground, kind of just percolating up. Okay? We will have times where this area we're dry, we haven't gotten any rain, and then all of a sudden the lake fills up with water, and that's typically due to snow melt further north in northern New Mexico. So with this lake, this is also the last remnant of an ancient lake known as Lake Otero. So Lake Otero was here thousands and thousands of many eons ago, and at that point, that's where we had all of our prehistoric creatures, okay? So now we're left with Lake Lucero. Once you get out there, you want to see the crystals, right? It's the birthplace of white sands. These crystals form as this water evaporates because it's heavily with gypsum, or it's heavily kind of mixed with gypsum mineral. So you'll see crystals everywhere. As we hiked down, you saw the crystals that were dark amber in color. Those are the first crystals that ever formed, okay? So that's why they're so dark, is impurities and minerals. Took a while for them to get there.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. In the next episode, we'll be visiting Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument.
This trail is only 1 mile long and it's good for kids. For one reason, because of these... How did we get?
For one reason. For one reason. Rubbish for every other way.